What up, guys? Um, how's it going? How's it going? It's your boy Tommy with Tommy Ross Music. You already know. Today I want to talk about a very important understanding of the circle of fifths, or just music theory, or scales. It's relating your major scales to your minor uh, uh, sixth note, or the relative minor note. So today we're talking about the key of G. Um, that's where we'll be doing all these licks in. On my older videos I've talked about major scales in the key of G, and we're also going to be talking about the minor pentatonic scale in the key of E. So you have to know your E minor pentatonic for this, and you have to know your G major scale. So the first thing before we start playing, we can look at the circle of fifths right here. And this version doesn't show you, but look at that G at the 1 o'clock spot, okay? So if you don't know much about the circle of fifths, there's some cool things you can use it for, little tricks, like in the key of G, right? In the key of G, if you want to find the fifth note in the key of G, you go one to the right and you'll find your D, right? So it says D is your fifth note, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth note, it is a D, so it's right. So if you go clockwise, okay, from the G, you're going to find a C. So that'll be the fourth note. So if you want to find the fourth note, you can look at the circle of fifths and go clockwise from the key that you're in. In this case, we're in G, and the fourth note will be a C. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is a C. Okay, so that's a cool thing about the circle of fifths. But aside from this version, I want to show you another version you'll see online. That was a little simplified version, okay? But here we are. This is my little handy dandy notebook that I've charted down here. And if you look right here at the key of G, you see the little, and ignore this little black spot on my hand. It's like a busted blood vessel or a bruise or whatever. But playing the guitar so hard, so just kidding. But there's the key of G, okay? These numbers down here resemble the amount of the number of sharps that they have in the key. Okay, so it has one sharp, so that in the key of G, if you go down to the order of sharps and flats down here, if it's got one sharp, you can go to that first sharp, and you know that in the key of G, your sharp's going to be F sharp. Okay, for example, in the key of D, it's going to have two sharps, and the first two sharps you're going to see are F and C sharp. So we know that in the key of D, it's going to have an F sharp and a C sharp in the scale. But that's not what we're talking about. Those are just some cool little facts. Now, we're talking about the G major scale and its relative minor scale. Okay? So let's look at those. Let's look at our G major scale. Okay, we got... Okay. Here's shape 2. Okay, so here's our major scale. Right? We know the shapes. Hopefully you know the shapes by now, and the patterns. And let's look at our minor pentatonic. Okay, so just to get right into it here, if you've noticed shape 1 of the E minor pentatonic, the relative minor note to the key of G, okay, there's shape 1. Shape 2, look at shape 2. Notice how pattern 1 of the G major scale just falls right in the corner. Everything in between, you know, shape 2 of the E minor pentatonic borders, or kind of, you know, surrounds this pattern 1 of the G major scale. So we've got, here's the G major scale. And then here's the minor pentatonic. One more time, major scale. Pattern 1, and then shape 2 of the E minor pentatonic bordering these notes. Okay, so that's the idea, plain and simple, right there. You need to learn your minor pentatonic scale and the notes that fill in. So let's go to shape 3 of the E minor pentatonic, right? And we notice that that's going to be pattern 2 of the G major. It's going to border the G major, okay? Pattern 2 of the G major scale. So there's your shape 3 of your E minor pentatonic. And then here's your pattern 2 of your G major scale. So you kind of learn the fill-in notes, okay, or like the major intervals of the E minor pentatonic. But you might as well just jump to this concept right here and realize that you're basically playing your E minor pentatonic shapes in your G major scale. Now, you could easily say that, well, what about the G major pentatonic? And the G major pentatonic just starts on shape 2 of the E minor pentatonic. So it's the same shapes, but it just starts in shape 2. Okay? So how can we put those together? Well, I'll play a little diddle here in the key of G major, all right? And I'll show you how you can look at it in both concepts, you know, the major scale or the E minor pentatonic. Here we are. So we'll look at shape pattern 2 of the G major scale to start. Okay. Okay. Now let's look at that shape. Now let's look at it as if it was a minor pentatonic lick. Oh, back to that little major scale. Back to shape 3 of the minor pentatonic. Bending up into shape 4 now. Okay. Or this could be pattern 3 of the major scale. Okay. Let's look at that shape 1 of that E minor pentatonic. Those are the basic minor licks, right? Okay. Shape 2 minor pentatonic, E minor pentatonic lick right here. Okay. So let's look at this this minor shape 1 right here. What you can start learning to do is play these minor shapes, think of them as minor shapes, but learn the major way to play it, or the major intervals. Okay. Give you a little flavor. So look at it as shape 1 of the minor pentatonic. Now look at it as shape 5 of the G major scale. Back to the minor pentatonic. Okay. Now that was a little jazz 2-5-1-4, but you might not be a jazz player. So how does that work for me if I'm like a blues player? It's the same thing, same concept. Okay, so I'll lay down a blues, and we'll do it in a different key. All right, and we'll test it out on the circle of fifths. So that was the G major scale, right? And the E minor pentatonic. They relate because, and it could even be the E minor scale, but they relate because E is the 6th minor note. Okay, so it's the relative minor note in it's where the Aeolian mode starts. So if you know about modes, then you know what I'm talking about. So that's where the natural minor scale comes from. It comes from that 6th note and follows the same pattern. But let me play this in a blues for you, okay? And we'll jump to the key of A, right? And I'll translate everything. But we'll play this little minor blues in the key of, or major blues in the key of A. So I'll lay down the rhythm here. Okay. So, same concept. A major. Okay. So A major, shape 1. A major is relative minor. Let's check the circle of fifths really quick here. It's going to be F sharp. So take that minor pentatonic and play it off the F sharp. Now, I'm playing that minor shape, even though it's an A major song, okay? But watch how I do some major fills, major intervals. pentatonic here. Okay. Now think of that A major scale. Alright, guys. So that's pretty much the idea for today. You know, I don't want to overload you or bog you with too many, ideas at once, but start filling in your minor pentatonics with its major intervals or its major relative. Vice versa. Start realizing that your major scale patterns are bordered by your minor your minor relative's pentatonic scale. So and start blending the two, and just see what you come up with. Like I said, it works in jazz, blues, whatever. So also start giving music theory and things like the circle of fifths a chance. You'd be surprised what memorizing this stuff can do for you in the long run. So I've written all this stuff down. I've filled this book up with knowledge. I'm writing books right now. We actually got a release date. It's going to be if not January 1st to the 15th, just depending on what my marketing team decides is best. They know what they're doing, so I'll let them choose the right time to release all of that. But the first one should be free, and I think you guys are really going to like the value that's in that first book. So, like I said, I put my heart and soul into this, guys. And music theory it's so important, and it can just really open up your mind for a lot of musical ideas that you might be kind of stuck in a rut on. So that's pretty much it, guys. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when I go live next. Thanks for watching.